You're going to take that extra cash, and what are you going to do with it? You are going to purchase hard assets that will gain value over time. That is what you are going to do. And you are going to resist the urge to increase your lifestyle for as long as you can. And by the time you're 40, you will be making $200,000 a year, and you will be living at $100,000 a year, and you will already be a millionaire, and you will be a multimillionaire by the time you get done. And your kids will all get, when you pass away, your kids will all get their share of $10 million, $12 million if you live like that.
Welcome to Workhard. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Jason.
Now this is podcasting.
It's over. The wait has ended. Work hard has returned. I'm back. Jason's back, baby. One long, grueling week without your boys, because we know you one-shot these episodes. You turn them on and you devote an entire hour.
And 20 minutes.
So it's a week between when you get to listen to them. It's not that you have to break them into 20 minutes because it's such a grating, impossible thing to hear this. You have to listen to it in spurts.
Yeah, definitely not.
Guys, welcome back to Work Hard. My name is Ethan. With me, Jason.
Hello, everybody.
We are in it. I'm healed up. So I've been sick. I'm actually exhausted today, but we're chilling. I don't think I'm ever going to not be tired. I think that's just not my lot in life. The Wilson sisters, what are their names? Rebecca Merkel and what?
Good question.
Yep, whatever. The Wilson sisters, they have a podcast called the What Have You podcast, which is pretty good.
Last
I think
name's Jankovic.
Jankovic, yes, Rachel,
thank you.
Rachel and Rebecca.
Good,
they have
biblical girl names.
Yes, they have a podcast called the What Have You podcast, and I'll come inside and my wife will be listening to it, and I often listen while it's playing because they're very wise women. And one of them, I don't know which one, was talking about how the fervent, frantic, health guru protocol. What's his name? What is his name? The guy, the doctor. His name is Andrew Huberman. Nailed it. Got it, baby.
You nailed it.
Let's go. And Dr. Andrew Huberman, he's always got a protocol. Listen, the best thing, he talks like this. He does this with his hands. And he's always got a black.
All the fingers together?
Yep, all the fingers together like this. And he's extremely handsome.
Yeah,
and
that helps.
Yes, and he's ripped, and he's always wearing a black buttoned all the way up and then all the way down. Looks very proper.
Yeah.
And he's always he talks like this with his teeth. He talks with his teeth, but his beard and mustache come right up to his lips, so you can barely see his lips. So it's just like you just see beard then teeth. It's a very good look. He looks very pro.
Very sharp.
Yeah, very sharp. And he talks like this with his teeth, and he says, "Now listen, what you need to do is sunlight. You have to get the sunlight onto your face immediately. I make a beeline. I wake up. I just walk outside immediately. It's the first thing I do." So he's got all these protocols. And it's like sunlight in the morning.
Okay.
You've got your ashwagandha tree root. You need to be putting your toes, it's specifically in maple grass, just whatever. Just always got something going on.
Maple grass.
And the girls were talking about how there's around Andrew Huberman, none of that stuff inherently is bad, obviously, but like around Andrew Huberman, there's this like entire ecosystem of these health people, and they all want, everybody's listening to them wanting to not feel ill all the time. And their point, which was a very beautiful point, which is that you're focusing on the wrong thing. You need to be, God did not tell you to prim yourself and make yourself the most beautiful, healthy feeling version of yourself that you can be. God told you to work dutifully. So you focus on the work, and how you feel is irrelevant. And so if you're tired, do it tired. Mm-hmm. Which is an extremely powerful. Now, there's a couple things there. One,
you gotta
first
work
of all,
through it.
To those of you who think I don't like women, all right, there's 2 women I listen to constantly. Okay? It's not that I don't like women. It's just that I don't like you. How's that? How's that, Mrs. 20 Bodies?
All right. I don't think any of them are listening to this.
No, they're not listening to this. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
YouTube shows our demographic as being 98% male.
Yeah.
I doubt the 2% are the 20 body count.
Yeah. Well, we get the 20 body counters on TikTok a lot. They're in the comments screeching.
Well, also that's out of context. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Do you know there's a 150 character limit, response limit? It's impossible to respond adequately to anybody.
Yeah.
I was infuriated
That's what you do. You
last
gotta put a stop to this engagement in the comments. You gotta stop it, dude.
Yeah.
You have to just pretend even the comments that are agreeing with us, you have to just pretend that's not a person. That's just whenever you pick up your phone and you engage with content online, you sacrifice everybody. Me, you, everybody.
Yeah.
You're suspending your humanity. You're no longer human. You're a little gopher typing whatever, and that's how you have to treat everybody online. They're just little gophers. When I was in college, I was a camp counselor at a really cool ministry camp. Probably should not have been there. I was not qualified to do that. I was just recently saved. And one of the things I said, we had to get up early and set up the field. You go to the city and you build this camp, and you have to build it every morning in these parks.
Okay.
And there's big inflatables, and there's all kinds of stuff. It's kind of hard work in the morning.
Wow. Okay.
You got to get up at like 4 a.m. to make it, and whatever.
To get it all done.
Yeah, and I'm there with other college students who are varying degrees of Gen Z and millennial, very young millennials, very old Gen Z, all like evangelical, Chaco wearing, which I'm not saying Chaco. I just wore Chacos here, so I'm just trying to paint a picture in your head. Okay, I'm not making fun of the Chacos specifically. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say these people are not like necessarily like the hardest individuals. You know what I mean? Like they're not like you can't.
Gotcha.
They're not going to be working HVAC.
They're not. Yeah, not blue collar.
Yeah.
Not in their destiny.
Yeah, and so there was a lot of not belly aching. They were not belly aching, but there was a lot of like lamenting, a lot of like, oh, this is so hard, and there's just so much like the culture kind of around it was like, I know this is hard, guys. We're going to do it together. But it's like it was difficult for me to deal with, and so one morning we're all standing around in the like huddle or whatever in the morning, and everybody's pray and we read Bible verses, stuff like I don't remember exactly how it happens, but and then everybody's like takes a turn saying something because you got to have that moment where everybody gets to say something. Okay. And most of the time it's just
to be heard.
Yeah, everybody has to be heard. Yeah, most of the time it's just like the girls reading something from like 1 Timothy or whatever the book of the Bible that they all like, which is like Timothy, I think. They'll read some passage from Timothy.
1 Timothy is where it talks about how women are supposed to be subject to.
It's 1 Timothy that talks about that? Okay, well then it's not 1 Timothy that they all like. In fact, I believe that they all want that stricken from the Bible.
Every single one of them.
Every single one of them.
Yeah, that is
broad
a universal
generalization. Yeah, it's factual. Yeah.
Yeah, factual. No.
But anyways,
there's a study.
I came around to me and they're like, Ethan, do you want to say anything? And I was like, yeah.
Of course I do. Does Ethan want to say something?
Yeah, I was like, I do actually want to say something. And I said, I I know we're all tired, and I know that we're late in the summer, and we've all been doing this a while, and everybody's like haggard and sore, and you're tired of kids, you're tired of whatever. And then I was like, but camp isn't about you; it's about the kids. So how you feel is actually completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's about the kids, and it's about bringing glory to God. So how you feel actually doesn't matter. So you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about how you feel because it's irrelevant. And one of the directors was like, yes, like
he's like, finally.
She was like,
it's
she,
a she. Yeah, nice.
She,
okay.
she was real hard as nails. She was
nice.
She's a very fun lady.
Awesome.
And she was like, that's exactly right. Like in front of everyone, was like, yes, like
you all listen to Ethan.
yeah. And then everyone else, all the girls were like, well, I mean, you have to make some concessions. Like people have feelings and emotions. And I was like, no, they don't. I was like, none that matter. Let it go.
Not when there's camp to set up.
Yeah, not when there's camp to set up. Yeah. That was fun.
Not when baby's hungry at 2 a.m.
No, exactly. Yeah. Those are not, your feelings are not important at that moment. When the going gets tough, your feelings have to take the back seat, dude. You got to get in the driver's seat and get things done. Speaking of putting your feelings in the back seat and getting things done, big show today. We are going to talk about money things, mode,
money stuff,
dude.
moolah,
Getting that big money up. And
then not blowing it,
So the
key second step there.
Yeah, key second step. The world is about to get crazy. All right. I know that most of you guys don't pay attention to this stuff. So, I'm not saying that's fine. My particular brand of autism is that I do. So, it's boring. I get it. It's made overly technical to make you not look at it. Money, like finances, stuff like that. It's made on purpose so that you won't pay attention to it.
Yeah, we were just having a conversation the other day where you were using all the terminology.
Oh,
and there
yes.
were a bunch of guys at the table who were like, I don't understand even what you're saying.
Yeah.
And your point was that these are terms that have relatively simple concepts behind them, and the term is all that is barring you from understanding what the big leaguers are talking about.
Yeah, they just deploy jargon to make you think that they're smarter than you are.
Every in-group deploys jargon.
Everyone, yeah.
And not even necessarily maliciously.
No.
Some in-groups are just like, this is the term we use as shorthand for this concept.
Yeah.
And then they learn to speak it. You would do the same in D&D or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever niche culture you are a part of has jargon that an outsider is going to be. It's like Greek to them.
Yeah. And I think that's important. It's not done maliciously, but very rapidly it does lend an aura of like officialness or whatever. Like it does.
Sure.
An expertise. It makes you seem like you have a bit of expertise that maybe you do, maybe you don't, whatever. But it does. When you start to learn the words, people get very excited that I know the words now. I know all the words. I'm an expert. I know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Which is, in sales, it's a very tempting thing to do, is to start using the jargon to your customers so that they go,
oh, yeah.
Wow, he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, but in reality, it doesn't have that effect. So
that was true in EMS, in medical.
Yeah.
To use all the proper terminology and be very scientific about it.
Yeah.
And professional, which you could do with other professionals, but not to the patient. And I would get frustrated hearing people say that, speed talk a bunch of medical jargon to a patient, and the patient's just going to be like, I don't.
Yeah.
And they'll just be flustered.
Doctor, is my heart working? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So it's designed that way. I will say the financial world is absolutely designed that way on purpose as a malicious thing. Because if you're not looking, or if they think they can confuse you, then they can pull the wool over your eyes and slip your green wool.
I meant that it's not always.
Right, it's not always.
But in this case, it may very well be.
Right, yeah.
The case that it's meant to keep you out of it.
Right, yeah. In the medical field, I feel like it's probably not intentionally done that way.
I think it's more. I think maybe when you're new to it, it's exciting, and so newer paramedics would be more prone to doing that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then if you're training them, you have to be like, you got to explain it in layman's terms. They don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, and it does
instead
put
of
you...
saying we took an echocardiogram, it's like you took a picture of their heart.
Right.
of the electrical, signals in their heart that make their heart work, and you need to describe it in those terms.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that it also, like, jargon kind of pigeonholes people, because I'm sitting at the table talking about this trade that I'm trying to make on Saturday or whatever, and I'm using the jargon, and everyone's like, yeah, we don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, well, I mean, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
So I don't, like, I guess I can just explain it. And so then you end up like in this like half-hour conversation where you're defining every word. So
Yeah.
it's not always on purpose, but in the financial world, it is absolutely on purpose. I can attest to that. It's for sure on purpose. Anyways, financially, what's going on in the world right now? I'll give you a little update. So Jerome Powell came out. Jerome Powell is the Fed president or the Fed chairman, whatever. I don't know what his actual title is. I think it's Fed president. So he runs the Federal Reserve. That means that he is the primary guy who's mostly in charge of and deals with what amount of money gets printed and what amount of U.S. debt gets bought. That's a simple way to think about it. The point is that
chair of the U.S. Federal Reserve.
Chairman. Okay, he's the chair. Thank you. So he came out and said that the employment market jobs are looking weak, and the Fed has one major lever. They have two levers, but one major lever that they can pull or push in order to manipulate the economy at a fundamental level, and that is the Fed rate, and that's the rate at which the Fed will loan member banks, so banks that are a member of the Fed network, they'll loan them money. The bank then will turn around so the bank will go borrow millions or billions or whatever from the Fed.
Basically the rate at which they're creating dollars.
Basically, yeah. The higher the Fed rate, the lower amount of money gets printed. Okay, think of it like that. We can actually
the higher the rate, the lower.
The higher the rate, the lower the amount of money gets printed, because that's the interest rate that you pay.
Okay.
So if money is more expensive, the demand for it's going to be less. People are going to go get less of it. If it's cheaper, people are going to go get more. Okay,
Right.
So when the Fed rate is low, that's when there's a lot of inflation, because there's a lot of money getting printed and a lot of reserve banking going on, fractional reserve banking, and all this stuff, all this technical stuff. I've talked about it a lot ad nauseum. I'm tired today. I don't want to explain it. Go look it up. There's much smarter people than me that explain it much more eloquently than I can explain it. It's been a long time since I've even talked about it in detail. It's been months, so I can't even I'm a little rusty on it. So
Can't get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah. If you want to get into the nitty gritty of it, I think it's very fascinating. It's a fundamental aspect of your life, of my life, of everybody's life. I think everyone should know how it works, what it is, what inflation actually is, how it works, who's really in charge, all that's, ad nauseum. I said all this stuff. Just look up fractional reserve banking on YouTube. Somebody will explain it. The Fed rate. Jerome Powell came out and said that because the labor market is looking weak, which means jobs are down and unemployment is up, they are going to lower the Fed rate. So the Fed is looking at two stats, basically. And the stat is, what is the rate of inflation based on of consumer price index and a couple other indicators that they use. The consumer price index is a basket of goods like ground beef, gas,
and eggs,
used cars, eggs, stuff like that. If the consumer price index goes up, then the Fed will consider that as inflation increasing, and inflation going above 2%. People say that that's an arbitrary number that they just chose. It's not. 2% is a natural number that all gold mining has been able to achieve over the millennia that we've been mining gold. So that's why they chose 2%. The Fed's goal is to keep inflation at 2% and keep unemployment at 4 or something. I don't actually know the number, so I'm just saying 4. I don't know if that's actually true.
Okay.
Just look it up. But it's a low number. They want employment, and employment isn't 4% of the population. It's just permanently unemployed. There's that number. Who's in that 4% is constantly changing.
Right, not the same ones.
Yeah.
Just the percentage.
Yeah, and so that's what they consider a healthy, balanced economy, balance between growth and risk. And so the Fed is aiming at a 2% inflation rate, and then whatever the unemployment number is. So when the unemployment number is too high, they will print money so that companies can go get loans and they can grow.
You are correct. 4%, the Fed sees 4% of unemployment as a healthy or full employment under current conditions.
Okay.
As long as the inflation target is 2%.
Nice. Okay. So the inflation target was raised for the first time ever.
The inflation target
last year
of 2%?
Yeah, it was raised, I think, to 3 or something like that.
No kidding.
Yeah.
A 50% increase?
Yep.
Just overnight.
Yeah. Well, it's about to get way worse. The story's
Wow.
the story's about to get even worse. So the inflation target got raised. They say that 2% inflation is no longer a realistic goal. We need to change it, which, by the way, they can just change it. They can just say they're going to change it. Now, it didn't have to be passed into law. They didn't have to whatever. The Fed
They're bypassing any
they just said
legislative, judicial, or executive.
Yep, we're just changing it. Which means the inflation rate means that every year your dollar, the Fed is aiming to decrease the spending power of your dollar by 3% every year. So Jerome Powell comes out this week, whenever it was. Sorry, I'm in a daze, so it's hard for me to remember the details. But he came out recently, in the past 7 days, and said that the unemployment rate is a little low, or a little high, rather, and so that's going to cause a Fed pivot. They're going to start lowering rates, which is what Trump wants. That's why everything shot up there for a second this week. The price of everything went up for a minute because Jerome Powell came out and said we're going to start decreasing rates. And when the rates go down, people start borrowing money, so everything goes up, right? And markets go up because people can borrow money to invest in the markets.
Right, so they have more money.
They have more money, yes.
Quote, unquote, for those of you just listening.
Right.
Big air quotes.
Big
more
air
money.
Quote, more, yeah. Well, the people that are taking the loans directly from the Fed do have more money because the rate of inflation hasn't hit yet.
Okay,
so
what I'm saying is so they have more fiat money, but it's not more wealth necessarily.
They turn it into wealth. But again, that's...
But further on down the line, it's not wealth.
Right. Once it gets to us, it's not wealth anymore.
Yeah.
But the first couple banks that take these loans from the Fed, it's wealth for them.
Right, because they get it.
They get it the day that it comes out. Inflation hasn't impacted that dollar yet.
Yeah.
And so it's the dollar that it was yesterday.
They get actually $1 million of spending value at that moment, and by the time it trickles down, inflation is hit, and we can only get $800,000 worth of spending power out of that $1 million that came down.
Right. So if we go down that rabbit hole, this episode will quickly turn into how these people are stealing from us. But because it's infuriating to hear that and makes you want to talk about it more. But just, again, go look this up. I'll scream it from the mountaintops. The Creature of Jekyll Island audiobook on Amazon. Great audiobook. Listen to it. You'll understand exactly what we're talking about. But that's for another time. So Fed Chair Jerome Powell comes out, says they're going to cut rates in September. Okay? That's the point of what I'm trying to say. He says they're going to cut rates in September. Market goes up. Okay? Next thing of significance that he says is that having an inflation target at all is now an obsolete idea.
Oh.
And they are going to drop the idea of having an inflation target at all and instead focus on maintaining unemployment at a 4%. Or at an idealistic level, which means the only number that kept the Fed in check, that kept these banks, that kept everybody in check, is now gone. So the money printer is about to be
September anyway.
Kicked on.
Okay.
It is about to go loco. Weimar Germany is on the horizon. Okay, that's what he's saying. They are about to start potentially on the horizon. They are about to start printing.
So maybe the
money.
Final nail in the coffin for the dollar, potentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not necessarily, but potentially. You're saying the
Trump's stated goal is to weaken the dollar.
Okay.
It's his stated goal.
Okay. And the purpose of that is?
I think Trump's plan is to. And again, this is totally speculation. I can lay out my argument.
We're not financial experts.
Yeah,
we'll just say that.
Yeah.
This is not financial advice.
Yes, I've worked in the finance world for a long time. I've been doing finance stuff and investment for a long time. Not a long time because I'm only 30, but relative to like a 70-year-old guy. Yeah, relative to other young guys, other 30-year-old guys. I think Trump's plan is to increase productivity in the U.S. and increase total revenues for the United States government, that they will be able to actually pay off the debt.
Okay.
I think that's his
The
plan.
national debt?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think he's going to actually take a swing at reducing it or paying it off. I think that's his plan. And he is
Which I imagine would take way longer than he has in office.
potentially, maybe, I don't know.
I mean, unless
It
he
depends.
inflated it
I mean, if
Weimar levels, then he could pay it
well,
off.
so here's here's what we're staring down the barrel of. The U.S. is going to default on its debts soon. We're running out of money. We're running out of our ability. People are trusting the dollar less and less. When the dollar loses its peg as the reserve currency of the planet, that's game over. And that's not just game over for us, it's game over for everyone. Most of the world's
because
wealth,
it's the global. Yeah, it's the global.
yeah, and there's so much American debt in the system. There's so many American bonds, treasury bills in the system that if a treasury bill goes to zero because people have lost their faith in the U.S. government's ability to pay back its debts, that is global economic catastrophe, which is what I have been saying is going to happen basically for 2 years now, for 3 years. And so we have two options basically. And I just thought it was global economic catastrophe. That's what I thought was the only option. Until I started to hear Trump talk about what he wants to do in different ways with the tariffs, with immigration, with all this stuff. If you make a nominal, deductive, speculative sort of reason, like you put all of what he's saying together and go, if I was doing all these things, what would that mean I was planning to do?
Right.
I think Trump thinks
If you can get past being upset at the individual things he's doing and look at it whole picture.
I'm not even going to say advocating for his plan. I don't know if it's going to work. It's
I'm not
massive
saying
gamble.
that. I'm saying anybody listening to this who hates Trump or is just perturbed by either immigration or tariffs or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you take a large picture, what you're saying is if you take all of the decisions he's
everything into
making
account.
together
Yeah.
and assume that he is not a complete retard,
Right.
then what would this mean?
Right.
What is the goal? Whether or not he hits it and whether or not it's a good thing, we're just talking about what you believe his
What I believe
goal
his goal is. And I think his
Okay.
goal is to raise productivity in the U.S. such that every other country in the world has to pay to bring their products here so that the only real market left on the planet, which is the American consumer market, can then buy their goods and services. And they will pay those tariffs. They will pay out the nose in massive tariffs to get their products into this country so that their companies can sell those products here, because the American consumer market will be the only one left. And so if you have a private company and you need to sell goods and services, the only place to sell those goods and services will be in the U.S. And so you'll pay whatever amount of money you have to pay in order to get them into the U.S., because if you don't, you're dead anyways. So Trump's idea...
That's pretty dark.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, the alternative is complete, total. We're talking civil wars in every country, total unrest, death and famine everywhere. Like, the alternative is the Stone Age of an economic collapse. Payment rails cease to exist. Money stops coming out of ATMs.
Okay,
in
so you're
Africa.
saying without this, then things
Without
are
Trump's
worse than
gambit, yeah. So this is a big gamble. Like his, and again, this is not the episode for it specifically, and I've actually talked about this in more detail on Maximum Alert, which we don't do anymore, but you can go back to those old episodes and watch that. I think it's like the title has Trump's name in it.
Trump's economic plan,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. I think Trump is gambling because he's in a great spot if you're a gambler, which is that you're going to lose anyways. And so you're taking it may be a small % chance that you win and you get us all out of this.
Right.
But the only alternative is that everybody's dead anyways. And
So
it
it's the
doesn't matter.
lesser evil is how he's looking at it.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's how I would look at it.
Okay.
I-
Yeah.
that's
You're
how I would look
arguing
at it.
that that's what you think he's
That's-
doing is
yes.
looking at the scenario and saying it's one of these two things and I'd rather it be this thing because that's at least better for the U.S. and better for
At least
globe.
there's some chance that some people in some other countries are going to have a chance of not having their heads cut off by, like, the poorest members of their country. Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's so, and again, I know this is fractured and it sounds oversimplified and stupid as I'm saying it here, but again, it's because I'm not making a detailed argument. I'm not building anything up here. I'm not telling a story. I'm just saying what I think. You can go find that on other stuff, on Maximum Alert. I make a much more coherent argument there. I think Trump wants, so Here's the model. All right, here's the model. I'll make it small so that it's easier to think about. If you're 22 years old, and you lose your job, you have a deficit. You have a budget deficit, which means you have more money that needs to go out than you have coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Sure.
You have a budget deficit. Now, while you're looking for a job, you might go out and go get a credit card to make ends meet.
Right.
Okay? That is more reasonable to do when you're 22 than it is when you're 44. Because when you're 44, you're kind of getting very close to topped out on how much income you're going to bring in every year for your life, right? You've gotten almost all the raises you're going to get, basically. But when you're 22, your income is still probably going to double or triple. So it's more okay to bring on debt when you're 22.
And because you just have more time to pay it off.
You have more time to pay it off, all kinds of stuff, right?
Probably less responsibilities.
Yeah, the gamble that you're making, is that you're going to make more money later.
Right. Okay.
That's the gamble you're making. Now, the alternative is losing your house and your car and destitution and you and your wife having to move back in with your parents. Okay?
Right.
So by borrowing this money, you're buying yourself a 20% chance to not have to do that. Or whatever. It's probably greater than that. But that's what Trump is doing. He's gambling that he can bring the U.S. to a place where we're going to make so much more money than
in
we
the
do
future
now that we can pay off the debt that we're incurring now in order to save ourselves.
Okay.
That's the bet.
Yeah.
Now, what does that mean for us, regular people, in the short term? That means they are about to go Wile E. Coyote mode with the money, okay? They are about to get loco. And anybody holding dollars that isn't them is going to get punished in the short term. I think it's going to not work. I think it's going to fail. I don't think AI is anywhere near as productive as they're hoping it's going to be or claim that it is. They are not doing mass deportations. The tariffs don't seem to be sticking. Like Trump keeps playing this game with tariffs where it's like, oh, I'm gonna charge China 100% tariff, and then the next day they sign an agreement that's like 10%. I think he doesn't have the leverage he thought he had. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to work. Okay. So I think things are going to go Wile E. Coyote mode, and then they're going to get really bad.
Gotcha.
And they're going to stay bad for a little bit, but then they're going to get really good, which has been my stance for a long time. But in the meantime, if you are holding U.S. dollars, you are the fool. You are the fool. Okay? I hope that this is not true, but there is a outcome here where there is no collapse and nothing truly awful just completely happens, and it's just one day we're fine and the next day we wake up and there's no money coming out of the ATMs and people can't buy groceries for however long or whatever. I know that it sounds dark, but I hope that that's what happens. Because if we don't have a collapse, then what we will have is a slow grind of global favelas. Like, people will just get more, everyone, Americans included.
We get more and more poor.
We'll get more and more and more and more poor, and they will just stay like that for the next 1,000 years, and that's how that'll be. Either way.
Revolution will happen before 1,000 years.
Yeah. But, it just depends on who's doing the revolting, It's not guaranteed that a revolution secures the future, in any great way.
Yeah.
Can make things worse. The point is, here's my point. Even in the short term, things are about to get bad, I think. I think we're I don't think that there's a new American golden age coming, and if there is, it's going to be very short-lived and bought at the price of the future. And so when they start printing money, you need to do everything you can to get a hold of as much money as much money of that as you can, as possible. When the money starts flowing, the money velocity in the economy is going to pick up. Everything's going to start flowing and moving quickly. You know, jobs are going to start flying off the shelf or hitting the shelf as companies try to grow, and housing prices are going to skyrocket, and everything's going to go up. All right. You need to figure out how to get your hands on as much of that cash as possible, and then get that cash into Bitcoin or gold as quickly as you can. And so as things get loco, as things start to go crazy with they go dummy mode with the spending, you're going to need to have some discipline. And so that's what I want today's episode to be. I want to talk about the fact that there's a pretty good chance within the next 2 or 3 years that if you do own something, if you own Bitcoin now, or if you own some kind of stock now, or you own your house now, there's a pretty good chance that that's going to blast through the ceiling into outer space in price. That's going to go way up. You're going to feel like you got mad bags, like you got mad money. You're going to feel like Daddy Warbucks. All right.
Don't sell it.
Don't sell it. Don't, please.
Because the next week you won't be able to buy the same house.
Right.
If that's happening.
Right. And that's what they want to. They want you to sell it, by the way. They want you to see it go all the way up and then go, oh, I'm going to sell now. I'll make it $300,000. Why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah. Where would you go?
Yeah.
When every house is $400,000 in a week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the
hold on to your roof.
Yes, hold on to your roof. Yeah, if you got a roof, hold on to your roof, and if you don't have a roof, please try everything you can to get one now. The job market, I think, is going to look. The job market's looked very strange. Basically, not exactly since I started working, but for like at least the last 5 years, the job market has looked very strange. There's all this like modeling that's wrong. Every time the U.S. comes out with a new jobs report, they're like, hey, jobs are up. We got an extra 200,000 jobs. And then they get the headline that's like, jobs are up. And then 2 months later, they revise that report down to 2,000 jobs were lost. Like, it's just, the job market is very, very strange, and no one seems to have any understanding of what's going on, of what jobs are real, what jobs are not real, of who's employed and who's not employed. Are they immigrants? Are they American? Like, nobody seems to know. The job market is very strange, and it's very hard to tell what's going on in the job market. But what I can say is that if money floods the system, there's going to be a lot more jobs on the job market. There's going to be a lot more room for promotion because companies are going to have higher budgets because they went and borrowed a bunch of money. They're going to be trying to grow, so they're going to need more people. So
temporarily, anyway, there's going to be a lot of explosive job.
Right, a lot of explosive jobs.
But it might not be tenable, is what you're saying, right? That'll come crashing down.
Right, it's just mania. It's just mania in the economy. It's just more and more mania. It is going to feel manic. If you're a calm person who knows what's going on, it's going to not feel good to you. It's going to feel manic. Yeah. You're going to get a job promotion. You're going to be like,
this doesn't, why am I making 40 grand more a year all of a sudden?
Yeah, this is
for
not
hardly any change. And
Right. Yeah, yes, exactly. And so
that's not normal.
That's not normal. And things are going to be normal.
Nobody gets a 30% increase in pay.
Right.
Overnight for no reason.
Right. So,
red flag. So what should you do? You want to switch to talking
so let's talk about what you
what
should
do. You do when you start getting all this massive amount of cash
there's
coming out of nowhere?
Here's what I'll say. Let's talk about kind of capturing that cash for a second. My buddy got fired from his job a while back on some BS, on some trumped up charges, and is now making like 150 grand a year buying Pokemon cards from Target and then just selling them in the parking lot.
He's making 100, what?
Like a 120, 150 a year. Yeah. I'm telling you, guys, listen.
That's crazy.
Mania in the economy. This is what I'm talking about. It's going to get weirder. You're hearing, you heard me correctly. I'm not lying to you. This is real. He buys Pokemon cards from GameStop and Target and then sells them on Facebook Marketplace for double the price that he got them from the retail store.
Should not be happening.
Should not be happening. Does.
No, there's a guy, another friend at the Bible study, who's been talking about this mania of people buying obscenely priced, cheap movie
memorabilia.
crap.
Yeah.
Memorabilia.
Yeah.
Popcorn cups of movies that aren't even good.
Yeah.
That he's making bank on just selling them online. He
Yeah.
goes, I don't know why people are doing this. He goes, apparently they don't need this money, so I'm going to try to put it into a more stable business.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't think this is going to last.
not.
So he's like, he's smart.
Yeah.
He's like, this is weird.
Yeah. And this is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. Is this not weird? Does this feel weird to you?
But he's taking advantage of it in the moment
Yeah.
and trying to translate it into something stable.
Right. Exactly. And that's what we're talking
A
about.
business that would last, which selling Pokemon cards won't.
No,
when
will
people
not.
are hungry, they're not going to buy Pokemon cards.
You can't eat Pokemon cards. Yeah.
No. I've tried. Some of them look really good.
Some of them do
Those
look quite
food-based
tasty.
Pokemons.
Yes. So how to capture the money? Listen, there's mania in the market, and there are a ton. There's the greater fools argument. All right, the greater fools investment strategy. As I'm going to buy this right now, thinking that there's somebody dumber than me down the road who will buy it for more money.
Okay.
Now that's how NFTs popped off. Okay, it's the greater fools investment strategy.
Okay.
Now those people people that are doing the greater fools argument, or the greater fools investment strategy, they're evil and they deserve to have their money taken from them. So if you are
Trying to profit off.
if you're trying to profit off people who are doing the greater fools thing, good. All right, screw them. Take their money. They don't deserve to have it. And that's this Pokemon thing. Like my friend is just like, yeah, I don't like. And here they're buying that Pokemon. They're gambling. These people that are buying the Pokemon cards are gambling because they're opening them up and then trying to get.
That's
the
what I
really
said.
valuable.
This guy who's selling the memorabilia was that what it sounds like to me is another iteration of the gambling.
Right.
Why are young people spending so much money on gambling? And what we've talked about in past podcasts is that it's hopelessness and desperation and
Yeah, they just
quote unquote investment of it's like very speculative investment.
right. They just don't feel like they can get ahead in any other way than reckless gambling.
Right.
Because that's true. Yeah.
I might as well buy a lottery ticket because that's about as good an $8. That's as good as I can spend $8.
Right. I can't work my way into. I can't go get an honest job and work my way into owning a home.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to gamble.
Yeah, and maybe I'll be able to own a home.
Right. You have a higher percentage chance through dumb luck of owning a home than you do of just diligent work.
The perception.
Right. That's the perception. Yes.
It's not.
I mean, I don't know. Again, we can talk about that's a whole other thing.
Okay.
Home prices and wages and
But
all
we're
those
not
charts are
advocating
insane.
the gambling.
Yeah. Also, by the way, ETFs, exchange traded funds, which are bundles of stocks.
Okay.
For the first time in history, there are now more ETFs than there are stocks.
There's more combinations of stocks
Than there are stocks.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's funny. Sort of. I
Now,
guess.
also think about in your head, how are the ETFs getting the stocks in order to put them into the ETFs that they're selling? If there's more ETFs than there are numbers of stocks.
When they have they have fractions of stocks.
They have fractions of stocks. They have little stuff that they can do, but at some point, I'm not saying now, because the number of, there could be 500 total stocks, right? 500 total companies.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of those could have 1,000 stocks. It doesn't mean that because there's 600 ETFs, that all those stocks are absorbed by the ETFs, and each ETF could have one of those stocks. The actual percentage, but again, it's just another sign of this mania, because if there's more ETFs than there are actual stocks, all those ETFs have to go buy individual stocks to have in the ETF to then sell to their customers, and that's gonna eventually those numbers are not going to add up anymore.
Okay.
All of a sudden, there's going to be actual more individual ETFs that are being sold on the market than there are stocks. It's not possible for them to have those.
It's paper silver.
Right. It's paper silver. Exactly. Yeah. You're
okay. And paper silver, really quickly, is just there is literal physical silver that you can hold in your hand, and then there's traded silver, theoretical, quote unquote, paper silver. You have it on paper.
ETFs,
You've bought this, but you would not be able to go any place and go, I have 1,000 ounces of paper silver, and they're like, well.
Yeah, which is more fractional reserve banking. That's what that. Yeah, it's the same concept. There, somebody said that they think I don't. Actually, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that out loud because I didn't vet that well enough. Anyways, my boy is selling Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Okay. In a gold rush, do you know who makes money in the gold rush?
The guy's selling the shovels.
The guys selling the shovels. Okay. The speculators do not make money. The guys selling the shovels are the ones that make it rich. All right. Go find some, and it's everything right now, dude. Pokemon cards, movie memorabilia, vintage t-shirts, everything. Trash sells for twice as much as you pay for it right now online. Everything is like that, dude. So just find a thing and go buy it and sell it to retards on the internet who think they're going to make it big somehow or whatever. I mean, these people are drooling. They are telling you with their money by buying it that they cannot be trusted with that money, whether it's for gambling or whether it's just because they need the dopamine of having new trash delivered to their house every day. I just saw an ad. There's a cereal company and they make like really nice, like actually healthy organic cereal. But the ad is that when you buy the cereal, you get this bowl and a spoon with it.
Okay.
And they're like, look at it. Isn't this bowl so cool? And it's like a glass, like opaque glass bowl with spark. It's trash. It's just more trash.
Yeah.
You are paying them to deliver trash to your house. And people are like, wow, look at the bowl. There's just like some lady with big acrylic fake nails going, man, that's a nice bowl. I want that bowl. And they order the thing to get the bowl. Okay?
They've got all 6 of them.
They've got all 6 of the bowls. And this is going to be worth good money one day.
Yeah, just like those McDonald's toys.
Yeah, just like those McDonald's toys. And so these people, them having that money is just as unjust as the U.S. government having that money. You need to put it in your pocket so that you can go put it somewhere safe and usher it into a future so that when everyone else is destitute, you can turn around.
Yeah, let's talk about the morality of that statement. They don't deserve to have that money because...
No, well, nobody deserves to have any money.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. You see how it feels? How does it feel, Jason?
How does it feel? This is my opportunity to go on and on.
What's the morality of that statement?
So the morality of the statement, because I do not like the idea of going and taking a bunch of money from people who
are
too dumb to realize that I'm robbing them. That's what it feels like to me as theft.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your argument to make this morally okay then is to say that you are going to then put it away and provide, because basically if you're a responsible person and you ride out this awful thing coming, this financial crisis, you are going to be responsible for rebuilding America and helping provide for these people who gave you their money in the first place.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the alternative is...
I guess if that's the mentality, because they're going to either spend it on lottery tickets or they're going to spend it on your Pokemon cards.
Right, and the alternative
and you're going to, instead of hoarding it, so I guess I would say, this goes back to even our episode on the CoverGirl thing, it's like makeup, not a sin, but if you are doing it in vanity, that's a sin.
Right.
If you're doing it just to present yourself well, that's not a sin. If you're collecting money and stashing away to provide for your family and then later on down the road to also provide jobs and stability for the future economy, then that's possibly not a sin.
Possibly not a sin. I think that's a good way. It's possibly not a sin.
I still feel iffy about
possibly,
it.
Yeah. Now, listen, the alternative, if you don't do it, then some drop shipping is going to do it, and he's going to spend that money on a Bugatti that's going to break in a year and sushi dinners in Dubai, all right? Or whatever, sushi dinners in Dallas or whatever. So, like, the alternative is you do it and you make yourself some money and put that money into Bitcoin and whatever. Yes, you build an ark. You can do that and build an ark, or some like Nike wearing loser will do it and blow it all on weed. Those are the alternatives. So
pray about it.
Yeah.
If you're going to take that strategy, pray about it, and
also, by the way,
and make sure that your conscience is clear in doing it.
People have agency. Stupid or not, they are allowed to decide how they want to spend their money.
Yeah.
If they want to blow it all on Pokemon cards, that's their prerogative. They're allowed to do that. You're not smarter than them. Well, maybe you are, but in the sense of like,
you're saying you don't have more free will than they do.
Arrogance. Yeah, the arrogance to say, well, I'm not going to sell Pokemon cards to these people who want Pokemon cards because they don't know that that's actually bad.
Mm.
How do you know?
I like how this turned into me being arrogant.
Not you. I'm just
no,
saying.
I was making that argument.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, then, yeah, just that.
You heard it here first. Jason's very arrogant.
Yeah. If Jason's anything, it's arrogant, man. Man, this guy. It's not that it's not your responsibility to police these people's spending behavior. It's you have no right to police their spending behavior. And if you sincerely believe that selling Pokemon cards or whatever is bad, then yeah, don't do it. But if you're
because it is a sin for you. If your conscience is
convicted to not do it, yeah,
then you're sinning by going against your conscience.
Exactly. But if it's like selling cars, I think is one of those things where it's like, oh, car salesmen are sleazy or whatever, so you shouldn't be a car salesman. Like you get that, not that exact statement, but that sentiment is very prevalent in the church.
Well, that all comes from that slicked back hair guy who's going to lie to you about the cars.
Right. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's just like, yeah, like you're just a guy. You're just there selling cars. You just have a job to do. And most salespeople, by the way, that's what they have families. They're just doing their job. They don't care. They don't care if you're like, you're there. I want to buy a Toyota. Okay. I'll sell you one if you want it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the extent to which they're thinking about it. They're not being like, I'm going to get him. I'm going to use glue to repair this thing that needs a screw. Instead of the screw, I'm going to use glue, and they're going to get off the lot, and it's going to fall apart. And I'm going to go, it's yours now.
Too bad.
Like, yeah, it's not. That's not how it works. So making money in, even if you're sitting there selling something, you're going, I don't know why people want this, but they have every right to choose to want it. It's not up. That's their prerogative. They have the right to do that. So anyways, just go make some money. All right. If it means go get a second job, whatever you need to do in order to know that you're not in sin, not feel like you're not in sin. No, you're not in sin. It's not a relative thing. Okay. It's not, sin is not depend on your feelings. All right. Sin is being outside of God's law. Okay. After prayer and thought and scripture reading and consulting those in your life who you trust to give you honest opinions, if you arrive at the point that selling Pokemon cards is sinful, then don't do it. And if you need another alternative, go get another shift. Okay, go get another job. And like as the mania increases in the economy, the opportunity to make money will increase tenfold. Like people are just going to have. It's going to be basically like people are getting stimulus checks. Become a power washing guy. I saw a dude, there's a service online of a guy who fills his, I don't know where he gets the fuel, but he gets a big, like one of those big water trucks that like have the water in them or whatever, fills it with gas, and he comes to your house for a premium and fills your gas tank up. Okay. He comes to you to fill your gas tank up.
It's a service.
It's a service. Okay. And the guy makes mad money apparently. All right. Just stuff like that. All right. And that's ridiculous. Why would you pay to have gas delivered to your house? The gas station's maybe 10 minutes from you.
Yeah.
What are you doing, you lazy loser? Get in the car and go get gas. Who cares? It's their money. It's their prerogative. They are allowed to decide that they want to have you deliver gas to their house. Okay? But you're going to see increasingly strange ways of making tons of money. And one of them is going to be working multiple jobs. All right? If that's what you need to do in order to feel good with yourself and just get that cash to your pocket. Okay? And again,
quickly out of your pocket is the key thing. right? Because you're saying cash holders are going to lose.
Right. Cash holders are going to lose. So that has to come like a river. It's got to come in, come out, come in, come out.
You got to have a way to put that away in something stable like Bitcoin or gold.
Yeah.
And again, this is not financial advice. Pick whatever you think is stable and do your own
Just
research.
Please, here's what I will say. This is, again, not financial advice. Don't sue us. Not a stock. Not a stock. Not an equity. Not right now. Okay? Nobody has any idea. The whole market is so overbought. It is in such a state of speculation that no one has any idea what any company is actually worth. It is not worth it. There's a reason why Warren Buffett is selling everything and just sitting in cash.
But not cash, right?
Oh, he's sitting in cash.
Really?
Yeah, he prefers cash over a lot of the stocks he had previously.
Well, okay. But, I mean, he's not reinvesting that in something else?
I would assume,
now?
I haven't paid a ton of attention to Berkshire Hathaway and stuff, but I'm just saying they're selling, all right? People that are
He's getting out of stocks and
slow,
speculatives.
calm, intelligent investors are leaving the speculative markets and entering into the stable markets.
Yeah.
Okay? That is what's happening.
I'm just saying that would sound like a contradiction to
well,
what we
actually,
just said about sitting in cash.
I'll take that back. They're not leaving the markets yet.
Okay.
They're talking about leaving the markets in a couple years
Okay.
because the market's about to pump.
So they might be able to then pull a lot more
Right. Now,
equity out, and then it'll dump.
right.
So they're hoping to sell high.
Right.
is what they're doing.
But they're investors. They're professionals. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You should be buying gold. You should be buying Bitcoin. You should be buying property. Okay?
Because if you miss that peak, you're done.
You're done. You need to be buying something that you know you're going to hold into the long term. Okay? Now, if you want to just mess around and have some fun and you don't feel like watching sports and you just want to blow $20 on having a fun Friday or whatever, then yeah, go buy, I don't know.
Something on Robinhood, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, just fire it off. Who cares? If it's 20. Yeah, if it's money, you're just like, whatever. I would spend this on beer anyways. Then just go buy something and blow it and see if you can turn it into $100.
It's at least as well used as beer.
Yeah, if it's as least well used as beer, then fire it off. Yeah. But yeah, you need to be getting. You need to be getting money in your account. Now, let's talk about this. Let's wrap this up because I know we're sort of at the tail end of the episode here.
Yeah, we're at just about an hour.
Yeah. So once you get money, what happens? You are going to have, what is it called, Jason? Lifestyle creep?
Oh, yeah, lifestyle creep.
Yes. Explain lifestyle creep to us.
Lifestyle creep is when, let's say you're making $40,000 a year and you get your raise and you're now making $50,000 a year. The temptation is to go, I'm going to upgrade my car. I might upgrade my house.
Sushi, baby!
Yeah, we're going to have sushi every Friday night. We're going to go to a nice steakhouse on the regular because I have $10,000 extra each year. I was living okay. I'm not going to put any more away into savings. Instead, I'm going to live life large and enjoy it.
I'm going to buy Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I'm not to sell.
Not
to
to
hold.
sell.
For the long term, because they'll be worth a lot in the future.
Yeah, they're going to be a lot. Yeah, I'm going to open them up and gamble. I'm going to start sports gambling.
Yeah,
so
lifestyle creep. So if you are able to... lifestyle creep is not necessarily making changes in your life that are good and healthy. For instance, if you have been living on all processed foods or whatever, and you're going, this is not good for my health, I don't feel good, and this is all I could afford, and now I'm able to afford some more quality meats, better vegetables, I'm going to go organic instead of conventional, whatever it is, not making any statements, just that's an example. If you want to elevate your lifestyle in that way for a particular reason, I don't believe that would be considered lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep is more in the luxury. I would categorize it as like luxury additions.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm going to sell my Civic and buy a BMW instead and have a car payment, even though I wasn't paying on the Civic, or the payment on the Civic was very little. Now I'm spending $200 more per month on the BMW.
Right.
Because now I can, quote unquote, afford that. And you can, but you are not saving for a rainy day.
Right. Yeah, you're not saving for a rainy day. You're not saving for the future. You're not saving for your kids.
So with lifestyle creep, why don't you explain what we were talking about before the show about how hard it is to bring your lifestyle down?
Here's one of the very key principles of saving money. operating in the world in general with money, and it's why I am, well, I won't say that. It is much, much harder to bring your quality of life down than it is to maintain a low quality of life. So if you are making $40,000 a year, you can't make, you can barely make ends meet. Maybe you're living with your parents, whatever. You and your wife are in a crappy apartment with crappy cars. And then you go to $80,000 a year. If you rapidly increase your standard of living, you start going to get food. You take your wife out on dates every week. You get two nice cars or two medium cars. You get an entry-level house.
Your wardrobe increases.
Your wardrobe increases in quality and in size, all this stuff. And you start living at that $80,000 a year. It is going to be much harder to turn around and take yourself back down to like $60,000 a year and then save that $20,000 than it is to just take yourself from $40,000 to $50,000 and be able to save $30,000.
Yes.
So it's critical when and now this happened to me, all right? I was in my field. You're a grunt man. You make no money. You make like $50K a year. And then overnight you get one promotion and you make $250,000 a year to $300,000 a year overnight. It is extremely tempting. Okay. I experienced it to go, we got money now.
Yeah.
Like
now we're big time.
I mean, babe, you want new boobs? Like, you just go.
He lives for that.
Yeah.
Good thing nobody listens to these all the way through.
Yeah. It's extremely tempting. I don't know if you thought I was thinking about that one for a second. It's extremely tempting to go out and get a new car, whatever. You get it. Get a big microwave. I got the big French range oven, whatever. It's extremely tempting to do that stuff, but you can't. You got to chill. All right. Now, what did I do? Here's I'll give you a concession. You do need to go out there and get something. All right. You need to have some sense, you do need to blow a little cash, and that's fine. All right.
To let the pressure off.
Yeah. Just go blow a little cash. Okay.
A finite amount is the key thing.
Finite amount.
Decide what it's going to be.
One thing. You and your wife both get one thing. You decide what the one thing is. You get it. And when you get it, you go, we got it. We're not getting anything else.
Steam has been released.
Yep. I'm good.
We're good. We can keep cooking.
Yeah. I got a truck. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
That was your payoff.
That was my payoff. I paid $25,000 in cash for an old truck that I liked. Okay.
Yeah.
That was what I did. All right. And that was and my wife and I languished over that. And so we were sitting there one day at Thanksgiving at my in-laws' house, and she just texted me and just said, "You should get the truck." And she was like, "You've been working so hard for years. Like, you finally did it. You should get the truck." And I was like, "All right, I'm going to get the truck." And then I got the truck, and I don't regret it at all. I love that truck. But I paid cash. I don't have a car payment, and it was cheap. All right, it's $25,000. Okay, I didn't go out and get a $100,000 Denali. Okay, first of all, those trucks are butts. They suck. No one should ever buy them. But I didn't go out and
shots fired.
I did not go out and spend someone's yearly salary on a car. Okay, I went out and I paid cash for an old, very reliable, very tried and true truck with 200,000 miles on it. All right. That's what I did. Responsible, one thing. Okay, I don't even remember what my wife got. She got something, but I don't remember what it was.
It was not a truck.
It was not a truck. No. The truck was. I'm not saying you should go get a truck when you get a promotion. That's not what I'm saying. Get a gun or whatever. But I got a big promotion with a lot of so
big bonus. That
big
kind of
bonus.
thing.
Yeah. So basically the idea here is that when you get these big money promotions, you go big money mode. You are going to not spend all of that money on trash. You're not going to spend all of that money on a BMW that sucks, because BMW also, you're not going to spend it on a car. You're not going to spend it. If you want a nice car, find a cool car from 2011 that you think is cool and buy that. Okay. There's lots of cool cars from 2011. 2011 was a pretty good year. Well, it was a pretty good year for mom cars, actually. You're going to take that extra cash, and what are you going to do with it? You are going to purchase hard assets that will gain value over time. That is what you are going to do. And you are going to resist the urge to increase your lifestyle for as long as you can. And by the time you're 40, you will be making $200,000 a year, and you will be living at $100,000 a year, and you will already be a millionaire, and you will be a multimillionaire by the time you get done. And your kids will all get, when you pass away, your kids will all get their share of $10 million, $12 million if you live like that. All right. Now, all my clothes are secondhand. Everything. Actually, this shirt isn't. This shirt is not. Everything else I'm wearing is secondhand. These shorts I'm wearing, I've had since I was 21 years old. I'm 30. I've been wearing these shorts for 9 years.
The shirt was free.
That shirt was free. All right.
It's a company shirt.
Yes. Now, Jason and I aren't swagged out, but we're adult men with things to do. You don't have to swag out. All right. Just chill. And you can swag out. Also, you can ask Jason. I actually do kind of have that on sometimes. I am a little swagged out at times. And everything I'm swagged out in is secondhand. All right. And that's the reality of the situation. You don't have to swag out. Also, my truck is sick, by the way. People see my truck. I get stopped. People roll the window down at stoplights and go, "Damn, man, that's a 6.0?" I go, "Yeah." They go, "Bulletproof?" I go, "Yeah." And they go, that's clean as hell, man. And I go, "Thank you, bro." And it is always a black guy, if you're wondering. I
couldn't tell.
Yeah, I just rolled up to my boys a couple weeks ago. They all saw my truck. They would. I caught two of them. I came downstairs and they were just staring out the window at my truck. My truck is sick. $25,000. All right. After you rip it out, after tax and title, $25,000. You don't have to swag out, or to swag out, you don't have to drop a check. Okay, you can be responsible. And that leads me to cars, which is the car thing, dude.
Oh yeah,
that's the big one, guys.
Payments
for dudes. Guys, please don't go get a car payment. Do not go get a car payment. Look it up. 2011 Volvo XC90 V8. Beautiful car. Swedish manufacturing. Yamaha engine. 4.4 liter. Great engine. Sounds amazing. SUV looks sick with it, dude. Beautiful car. Almost bought my wife one this week for $9,000. Okay? $9,000 is what you can buy that car for. Now, reliability, so-so.
Iffy.
But no one has ever died in an XC90, which is why I'm going to buy one for my wife.
Safety first.
Safety first. Their deaths are literally 0 in 1 million. So,
wow.
You can go get your girl I think the 3.2 liter, the 2014 3.2 liter XC90. You can go get your girl one of those. They're big, they're safe, they can fit a family in them. They've got a third row seat. It's not super accessible, not mad convenient, but it's safer than. It's better than going to get a modern minivan, because modern minivans have variable speed transmissions that brake, and all cars these days are powered by tiny engines with huge turbos on them. They're all designed to break down at 100,000 miles so that you have to go get a new car. You can never get out from underneath your car payment. You can never get out from underneath your car insurance. These things, it is a scam. They are manufactured to destroy your life. Do not engage with them. All right. You want a safe car, get an old Volvo. Okay, 2011, 2014, but the 3.2 liter engine. And
maintenance might be more of a trick there because only not all mechanics can work on Volvos.
Right, not all mechanics can work on Volvos.
So just check, make sure you actually have a local mechanic.
That's true.
Who can
Yeah,
work
that is,
on it.
and that's a little lifestyle thing for you right there. It's not even something I think about. Because I'm just like, I don't care. Whatever the maintenance costs don't bother me at all. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I don't even think about it.
No, which is why we in my family drive Toyotas.
Yeah, well, it's just another
because with my terrible maintenance, they still manage to run.
Right. Yeah. Go buy an old Toyota.
I've got a Gen 1 Tundra, which I abuse, and we have a 05 Sienna minivan.
Yeah.
Which everything but the engine is breaking on, but it's still running.
Still running. Yeah. So you just listen. I know it's riveting to drive a Raptor or a Denali or like I get it. All right. I know.
They're very cool.
They're very cool. Okay?
We do not disagree.
We don't disagree. They look great. Now, they do suck. Mechanically speaking, the new ones. But that's true for everything. It's not just those cars. You can have that car one day. All right. Now, would I go pay $100,000 at any point for one of these things? No.
If you make $1 million a year, you would.
I don't. Yeah, just the justice.
In inflated dollars 10 years from now?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah.
$100,000 might be a deal for a car.
Yeah, that's true. $100,000. Yeah. 10 years from now, I'll pay $100,000.
A 2030
when
Civic
$100,000 is $5,000 in real money.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll go pay $100,000 for a Denali. Because that's what that car's
deal.
worth. That car's you know what? You got to pay me to take one of those because that's a task. One of these new cars is a chore. That's what it is. It is a time bomb for taking that thing to the mechanic and going, it's going to cost what? That's what that is. All right. Cars, guys, please. I'm on my knees. I'm begging you. Hondas, look up Nick Rochefort. Look up Nick Rochefort cars. Car suggestions. Go Nick Rochefort car suggestions. That's what you look up on YouTube. Watch every video he says. It's Acuras, Hondas, old Acuras, old Toyotas, old Lexuses, some old Fords, some old Chevys. I don't think he likes any of the like Volvo, any of that stuff. I like Volvo because it's safe.
Right. But he's more mechanical.
I think he's like, I don't think he likes
straight
Volvo
mechanical.
at all. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think he likes Volvo at all, actually. But I like Volvo because it's safe. My wife will never not drive a Volvo. The next car I'm going to get is a Volvo V70R. They're sick. They're wagons. They're not that fast because they're heavy, but they're kind of fast. Big engine with a turbo on it in a wagon. It's very fun.
Let's wrap this up.
Cars, guys, please listen. As you raise,
Avoid the car payment like a plague.
Yes.
Ask your parents to forward you a loan if you have to get a small loan to pay off a used car.
Yeah.
That's how I got my first car. My parents fronted me the $5,500 to buy a 2001 Subaru Forester. Not a cool car, but it was the Northwest, and that was fine.
Yeah.
It was cool there. It's an old, funny little, tiny, retro-looking SUV now.
Yeah.
So anyway, I didn't have to pay interest on that.
Right.
So the point is, if you don't have the cash and cannot save up the cash before, I needed a commuting car, and I didn't have the time to get to the job. I didn't have a way of getting to the job I needed to commute to make the money to pay for it. So my parents helped me out, gave me the cash for it, and I paid them back.
Yeah.
So
old Lexuses,
if you have some way of doing that, do that if you need a small loan, because banks won't loan on cars older than a certain
14 years old.
Is it 14?
That's
okay.
what they cut off.
I went in
years.
thinking that I could, and they're like, "Oh no, you can't."
No.
I was like, "Okay, never mind."
Yeah, they won't loan cars 14 years old, which is funny because every car, whatever. I'm not going to go into it. Old Hondas. My thing is old Acuras, old Lexuses, because they were luxury cars, so you're going to get better seats, better speaker systems, sunroofs for free, better, like it's going to be better for the same price. So old Acuras, old Lexuses, just go for that. Listen, here's the thrust of today. things are going to get crazy. Things are about to get really, really crazy. Prices are going to go just nutter butter ridiculous. You got to get it. You got to get your hand in those. You got to get your fingers in those pies any way you can. If that means you got to sell Pokemon cards, that means you got to get a second job. Whatever you got to do, get more cash. When you get more cash, do not fall into the trap everyone else is going to fall into over the next 3 years, which is thinking, I make a mad amount of money now. Okay? It is because the fundamentals of the economy have changed in an unsustainable way, and they're going to bounce back. All right? So acknowledge that.
It's a spring. It's a spring that's being compressed, and it will bounce back and revert to the middle.
Yes.
Eventually.
And so what you need to do, what you need to understand is that you have 3 years as the money printer really turns on. You have 3 years to get your share of that money and put it into assets that are going to keep you from being a part of the permanent underclass. So go get that money, and then do not splurge it. Do not raise your standard of living up to a point that you can't sustain if you're because then you'll be in hot water. Yeah. Hot water.
Scalding
hot water. If you got car payments and home you got bills up to you're levered up to the tips of your hair on debt and bills and all kinds of stuff, and then you lose your job in a new depression. Good luck, brother. Good luck. So get out there, get a job, get any job. Now is any job time. Now is not the job you want. Now is any job time. Now is waiter job. Now is, dude, I don't have a job right now. I don't have a dedicated income, and I'm fine with that. Whatever, it doesn't bother me because I saved money when I had an income, so it doesn't bother me. But now I see the writing on the wall. Now I know it's any job time. I'm talking to boys about going to sell lumber. Okay, I used to sell computer technology for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I might go sell lumber for like $80,000 a year. Any job time. It's any job time. Okay, any job. Go get any job. Go do anything. Go get a toothbrush and clean the grout in between people's tiles. Whatever insane manic thing people are willing to do, it's going to increase. It's just going to get worse. Go get it. Go get the money. Save the money. End of story. See you guys later. Love you. Oh, go to church. Find a woman. Marry that woman.
And have some babies.
And marry her first, by the way.
Just because economic times are going to suck, it does not mean you stop having children.
That is exactly correct. God doesn't say have kids except
as long as the economy looks good for the next 10 years.
Yeah, or when the environment is bad or whatever. God says have children. They are a blessing. They are a gift. They are arrows in a quiver. Guys.
Amen. Have those babies. Trust God for the increase.
We are praying for you. We do love you. We're out of here. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.